2025 is going to be full of open world games, and gameranx has got them all, at least the ones that are probably going to be talked about the most. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, the top 25 open world games of 2025. Starting off with number 25, The Precinct. If you've ever wondered what it's like to be a cop in a neon-soaked 1980s inspired city, at this point, you probably don't wonder. You probably experienced this a couple times, but The Precinct puts you in the shoes of a rookie cop by the name of Nick Cordell. Now, to be fair, this is not a cyberpunk game. It is actually set in 1983. Yes, there are quite a few neon lights. No, it is not cyberpunk. It's basically reverse Grand Theft Auto. You're a cop. And we're not talking like massive stuff only, like, oh my god, there's a terrorist attack going down, and I, the cop, am the only one that can know. It's parking tickets, mundane stuff.
I need some backup here, dispatch.
But it does go up to bank heists. The Precinct is coming to PC, PS5, and Xbox Series sometime this year. And number 24 is MindsEye, a single-player action-adventure thriller set in a kind of AI cyberpunk hyper-capitalism. You got the Blade Runner, you got the Total Recall, you got the greedy CEOs and the neural implants and the amnesia. Your whole idea is figuring out what the hell has happened to you and surviving what looks like a completely crazy world. Honestly, pretty cool looking game. MindsEye is landing on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series in the summer.
Tires are out. Proceeding on foot. I'm coming to you now.
At number 23, it's Atomfall. You take a little Stalker, take a little Fallout, take even maybe a little bit of Bioshock, and that's what Atomfall looks like here. So, this game takes place as an alternate 1962 Britain. You're in a quarantined countryside district in an area 5 years after a nuclear disaster with mutated creatures, cults, all that shit.
Temporary quarantine, they said? It's been bloody years.
They're hiding something from us. Something terrible.
You got exploration, you got crafting, survival, moral choices. Honestly, looks like a lot of fun. If you like Fallout London, probably have a look at this. Atomfall is coming to the PlayStations, the Xboxes, and PC March 27th. And number 22 is Assassin's Creed Shadows. How could we not be talking about this one? Feudal Japan, honestly probably the best place for an Assassin's Creed. Takes place during the Sengoku period. You got Nawe, a ninja, and Yasuke, an African-born brawler. Nawe is made up. Yasuke is actually a historical figure, although the accuracy of the depiction will no doubt be up for debate. Basically, Assassin's Creed realized they were being out-Assassin's Creeded by Ghost of Tsushima and went wild. Finally, what it needs to be. The stealth is really solid. Setting is, it's incredible. Ubisoft never really doesn't make beautiful, detailed worlds, but it's not the world that's really the problem. It's often other little things. There's some repetitive side activities you're going to see in games, some rough story spots, but honestly, I think a lot of people are going to be happy with this one. We're maybe a little pickier, but also, it's good to see the series on the up. Assassin's Creed Shadows is landing on PS5, Xbox Series, iPad, and PC on March 20th. And number 21, it is Crimson Desert. What started out as an expansion or maybe a sequel to Black Desert Online turned into like Game of Thrones and The Witcher wrapped up into one crazy looking thing. You're a battle-weary mercenary haunted by his past, and your only therapy is like sword fights. I don't know, there's a lot more than sword fights going on here. You saw the trailer, it's nuts. Crimson Desert is coming to PS5, Xbox Series, and PC late this year. And number 20 is Dune Awakening. Hey, you want a Dune MMO? Well, that's it. You got one. Basically, we're looking at kind of a Conan Exiles meets No Man's Sky type situation. You start with a knife, you scavenge for resources, build shelters, and also it's Dune, so everything wants to destroy you.
This is Dune Man Keith Filari reminding you today you're returning with a full spice load. My crew found a shortcut. We become...
Will you become the king of the spice trade? We'll see. Dune Awakening is landing on PC May 20th with a PS5 and Xbox Series release coming sometime later. And number 19 is Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Oh boy. Like a Dragon is crazy, and here's a canon entry into the series where Goro Majima is a pirate. He wakes up with amnesia on a Hawaiian island, and for whatever reason, that means he ended up a pirate pretty quickly. We've talked about this game plenty. It's fun as hell. It's crazy. It's not necessarily on exactly the level of, say, Infinite Wealth, but it's definitely a worthwhile trip into this world as Majima bringing his Mad Dog style, which if you've played the games you already know, Sea Dog style, which is a new style where you have a cutlass and pistols you dual wield. It's crazy. And yes, you do have a ship. It's not quite Black Flag, but it's certainly much better than Skull and Bones. This one's been out a while. I've played it. I've enjoyed it. I recommend it. It's out on the PlayStations, the Xboxes, and PC. At number 18 is Ghost of Yotei. We've moved forward about 3 centuries from the Ghost of Tsushima, so we're dealing with slightly more modern things. Not necessarily powerfully more modern, but obviously Jin Sakai is not alive anymore. You're Atsu, a different warrior, and I don't know if it's going to exactly be like more of Ghost of Tsushima or if they're throwing in some other elements, like maybe we'll see a little bit of Sekiro stuff in it. I do hope Atsu's journey is as compelling as Jin's. We'll see. Ghost of Yotei is coming to PS5 later in the year. At number 17 is Alkahest. Hey, you like Dark Messiah of Might and Magic? You like Kingdom Come? Would you like maybe even a little tiny bit of kind of looks like maybe BioShock? I'm not sure. But we got an adventure RPG that looks like we got some sort of alchemical chaos tossed into a kind of, I hesitate to say Dishonored exactly, but I also can't help but think of it. I mean, you have a complex alchemy system here, which is something none of those games have. But I don't know. It looks pretty interesting to me. I hope it's anything like any of the games I'm talking about. Maybe a little Skyrim, maybe a little Resident Evil thrown in there as well. I don't know. It's one of those games where I'm interested to see where it goes, because I get a little bit of a sense of a lot of different things here. This one's coming to PC. We do not have a date for it yet, though. At number 16 is Hell Is Us. This one puts you into the shoes of Remy, who is a UN peacekeeper. He goes AWOL to go back to his home country of Hedaya to uncover his roots, but it's also crawling with what they're calling Hollow Walkers. Sound very Death Stranding to me, but the game itself is very different. You have sort of archaic melee weapons because the Hollow Walkers are immune to like modern weaponry. So you got kind of a Dark Souls meets Death Stranding meets Spec Ops The Line thing. Definitely an odd combo, but something that looks interesting. Hell Is Us is coming to PS5, Xbox Series, and PC on September 4th. And number 15 is Ark 2. Hey, remember Ark? Got crazy prehistoric survival game? Well, hey, guess what? It's going more fast and more furious because now it has Vin Diesel. That's not really all that's different from the first one. It's got a massive overhaul. World looks incredible. You got third-person Souls-like combat, which I think probably a good idea. But I think perhaps the most interesting aspect here is full platform cross mod support in Unreal Engine 5, meaning Bethesda really has no more excuses. Time to move to a new engine, guys. At least, I mean, if this game is awful, maybe they have an excuse, but we'll see. We'll see. It looks good to me. Ark 2's coming to Xbox Series and PC late in the year. And number 14 is Light No Fire. Hello Games' next game after No Man's Sky. Interesting aspect about this is they've gone from every planet to one planet. This is a procedurally generated world the size of Earth. I know this might sound like a bit of a stretch, but I have kind of Valheim meets Breath of the Wild vibes on this. Maybe a little Tears of the Kingdom in there too. You got all these caves and stuff, you know? Looks a little more sandboxy than Breath of the Wild, like more not necessarily in, I don't know how to put this. You got building. You don't really build in Breath of the Wild, or Valheim for that matter. I don't know. It's a Hello Games game. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of stuff that you recognize from No Man's Sky, but it looks like there's a lot of other things here too. Light No Fire's coming to PC late this year, speculatively speaking. And number 13 is Exoborne. We're really starting to feel Death Stranding's impact on the gaming world. So this game has the United States transformed into a chaotic wasteland and has you navigating dynamic weather events. Sounds a little familiar, doesn't it? To be fair, the focus of this is battles and customizing your exo rig, which is, I mean, I don't say this in a bad way, looks like what maybe Anthem could have been. I don't know. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll be bad. I am going to err on the side of positivity and say it looks like what Anthem could have potentially been meets Death Stranding. Maybe? If it's that, actually, that'd be super interesting. Exoborne's coming to PS5, Xbox Series, and PC later in the year. And number 12 is Project the Perceiver, an open-world action game brought to us by Paper Games 17 ZHE Studio. I have no idea how to say that. But you step into the role of Master of Varietas. You are a figure of perceiving and consolidating diverse ideals into powerful masks. I don't know what that means. It sounds cool, though, does it not? Because you can wear these masks, and they grant you different combat abilities, and I don't know. Is this Majora's Mask meets Sekiro? Possibly. Probably not. I mean, I'm kind of being a little facetious with that. It does look like it has elements of Sekiro, and the mask thing, I'm having fun with it. Project the Perceiver is coming to the PlayStations and possibly other platforms. They have not announced it, nor have they announced a release date. And number 11 is The Outer Worlds 2. So The Outer Worlds is a fantastic game from Obsidian. This is the sequel. Takes place in a different star system, the Arcadia star system. I mean, we're basically talking about, like, perhaps what Starfield should have been. Although it's got a little bit more of that Fallout energy, where there's a tinge of that silliness. Almost a Futurama kind of thing, if Futurama was a little more serious. I don't know. I enjoy the hell out of the Outer Worlds. I will enjoy the hell out of the Outer Worlds too. It's that simple. Coming to PS5, Xbox Series, and PC later in the year. And number 10 is the Ballad of Antara, a Souls-like that is actually a free-to-play. You don't really see that too often. More of a, I don't know, actually a lot of people copied the Breath of the Wild template for free-to-plays. Basically, imagine if Genshin Impact was more modeled off Dark Souls. I mean, we got some pretty interesting looking landscapes here. Lot of variety. You got the forests, you got the wastelands, you got, I don't know, this is a different looking one. Obviously, free-to-players have a lot of peril involved in the possibilities of how they fleece you for cash, but there's potential here. Ballad of Antara is coming to the PS5 and PC, as well as mobile platforms later in the year. At number 9 is Dying Light, The Beast. We thought Kyle Crane was gone for good, but he ain't. Instead, he endured 13 years of experimentation. Not cool. So Kyle decides that he's going to get revenge on the people behind all of those experiments. So 13 years of experiments. Not cool. Not cool. Couple of things you have here. First, Kyle Crane now can go werehog. Second off, he's got a grappling hook. What's not to like about either of those things? In my opinion, we're definitely talking about something that looks like a fun game. Dying Light the Beast is coming to PlayStation, the Xboxes, and PC in the summer. And number 8 is Borderlands 4. Borderlands 4. Gearbox telling us we're reining in the humor from the third. It's not like there's going to be no humor, but we're going to try to be a little darker, a little more mature. We'll see how many fart jokes that includes. Probably some. I can't imagine none. But we are apparently dealing with a fully open world, no loading screens, grappling hooks, gliding, tons of new guns. It's Borderlands, so I think you should know what you're getting with it, but man, does it seem like they expanded on the formula in a good way. I mean, obviously that's just from looking at it. We'll see what it's like when we're playing it, but Borderlands 4 looks like a hell of a lot of fun. It's coming to PS5, Xbox Series, and PC September 23rd this year. At number 7 is the Gothic 1 remake. Been 20 years. Alchema Interactive says to us, man, be nice if there was a Gothic remake. Piranha Bytes arguably pioneered a genre that they pretty much dominated themselves, and even though it kind of went downhill, I have said it many times on this channel, including in my Before You Buys, I don't like the Alex games. I think they were tedious in a way that wasn't charming in the way Gothic's tedium is, but you know, that's another topic. I'm interested to see how all of these old school faction things, how does it work out with modern graphics, with modernized controls? Is it going to be something that people want to play nowadays, or is it going to be something that turns people off? I'm actually super interested in the implications of making a Gothic remake, and we'll see how that lands when it hits on PS5, Xbox Series, and PC later in the year. And number 6 is Where Winds Meet. This is a martial arts centric open world game that obviously combines handcraft and swordcraft with the 5 dynasties and 10 kingdoms period of ancient China. Man, are we getting a bunch of history lessons about China's feudal eras, aren't we? Now, what's interesting is that beyond the combat stuff, you're going to get roles like doctor or merchant, and you actually have like influence over the world around you. I don't know. I get Witcher vibes, Witcher 3 vibes from this game. Even though it looks like the combat is probably nothing like The Witcher 3, it feels a lot like that world. Where Winds Meet is coming to PS5 and PC sometime this year. It's already out in China. I'm not in China. You're not in China. At least you're probably not in China. So we'll get it later in the year. And number 5 is Terminator Survivors. Well, I'll be frank. Yes, I would like a Fallout game set in the Terminator universe. Now, it obviously is more survival-oriented than Fallout, and there is a lot more like base-oriented, survival-oriented type battles with Terminator units that you could co-op with up to 4 players. I mean, it looks like a pretty fun Terminator game. This is a game, like as a series of games, Terminator has had some duds, but this one looks like it's got quite a bit of potential. Terminator Survivors is coming to PC via Steam Early Access and then consoles at a later date. Look out for that. At number 4 is Monster Hunter Wilds. This one's out. I don't really know what to say to you about this game that you probably haven't heard yet. It is a slightly more streamlined version of Monster Hunter World with some elements of Monster Hunter Rise. A little bit more verticality, not necessarily the traversal stuff, but yeah, I mean, it's a Monster Hunter game. It's a big Monster Hunter game, and man, does it manage to do what it tries to do. I hesitate to say it's the best Monster Hunter game yet because obviously people have different tastes, and it is certainly one that introduced some controversial streamlining of certain things, but I enjoy the hell out of it. Monster Hunter Wilds is already out on PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. And number 3 is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Again, this is one that's out. We've had time with it, and it is definitely an upgrade from the first. They actually pulled a pretty clever thing and made it so that your reset of abilities and everything at the start of the game makes perfect sense. You get robbed, you get hurt, and then you start from the beginning. You got more Bohemia to deal with this time around. And honestly, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 just really delivers on being a bigger, better Kingdom Come Deliverance. It's out across all platforms now. I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. Check it out. Moving on to number 2, it's Death Stranding 2 on the beach. I mean, it looks like if you threw in some more Metal Gear into Death Stranding in a good way. Honestly, it all looks completely insane. Seems like our man Kojima wants to have Troy Baker as Kefka from Final Fantasy VI in a game. Looks crazy. Looks absolutely. I mean, how could you not want more Death Stranding? Like, it's a completely insane game that works despite itself, and at very least, even if it's not your thing normally, it's more than a little interesting. And then toss in Neil, aka Solid Snake again. What the hell is happening? You're not gonna have to wait too long for this. It's coming to PS5 on June 26th. And finally, at number 1, it's Grand Theft Auto 6. Obviously, this game is coming out this year, and therefore it's the biggest open world game of the year, period. That's what's going to happen. You might have dual protagonists. We've heard nothing that contradicts this. It looks like there's dual protagonists. Set in fake Miami, Vice City. Seems like we're getting kind of a Florida as San Andreas type game. I'm good with that. I want that. I'm excited to play that. I'm excited to see what they do with this game. As much as we do know about it, we don't know a lot about it. I have a feeling they're going to beat us over the head with something completely new that we did not expect, and I'm excited for that. Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming to PS5 and Xbox Series late this year. And that's all for today. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription, so click subscribe. Don't forget to enable notifications, and as always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter and book me on Cameo at Falcon the Hero. We'll see you next time right here on GameRanx.